Come on!
Presentation.
This is Ed McMahon. And now, here's Andrew.
Andrew Z. I love that Andrew Z. I said Andrew Z. In the morning, it's time to wake up. Andrew Z. In the morning, yeah. Come on!
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the show. I'm Andrew Z. It is Thursday, January 28th, 2021, the year of our Lord. I'm Andrew Z. We got Demetrius Nicodemus, Eastside Southside Gina, Chris Tiefel, Donnie P, and Ashley P. Let's do this.
Who's watching the kids?
You
and
are,
producer
Chris.
George. What?
Chris said, "Who's watching the kids?"
Oh. What kids? Dude, why do we have those little bastards? Here's the problem. So I get up this morning, haven't touched the computer. That's why I'm not looking at you guys. I'm trying to fix it. I haven't touched the computer since yesterday, right? So I come in and nothing's working. Like I don't have any sound. My passwords are messed up to log into the phone. I'm just everything. And how do I know it just didn't magically happen? It was one of those little bastards because there's half-eaten chicken nuggets and half-eaten fries at my goddamn desk. You're so lazy. I can't even fucking take it.
That is so annoying.
I know.
Yeah, kids will break everything you love and enjoy up to and including themselves.
That is so accurate. That's the most accurate thing about children you have ever said.
It's so it's infuriating because it's infuriating.
No,
I won't buy anything new. Like I need a new dining room table, but between my cats and my kids, I'm not buying anything new anymore ever again. It's used shit, garage sale shit. That's all I'm getting.
We moved in this new house about a year or so ago. And we're like, we buy all new furniture, spend way more than we should, making payments on it, all that bullshit. And I swear to God, I thought furniture lasts 10, 20 years. I mean, I know other people it does. After a year, I'm like, Colleen, it looks like garbage. Our brand new furniture, a year old, looks like garbage. It's
they flop down on it like it's like they're just like doing a trust fall onto the couch every morning. And there's 5 of these little shits, and they're not little. Like they're teenagers. They're grown. They're little kid minds and big bodies, and they're just flopping on my furniture. And I'm just and every time they do, I look at them like I look at my arch enemy. I'm like,
The girls always walk on our couch, and it makes me so angry. And Donnie could give a shit less, and I'm like seeing red. Like, sit down. You don't walk on furniture. And he makes me feel like I'm a psycho because I'm like, you just don't do that. Like, he's like, who cares? It's their couch too. And I'm like, yeah, but they didn't pay for it.
That's not
so
what
they
I
can
say.
sit.
That's not what I say.
Yes, you
I
do.
say
Oh
they
my
have to
God.
work on their balance and their athletic skills.
Oh my
get them a balance beam. It's cheaper.
Right?
really.
When I was watching my nephews a week or so ago, they were walking on my coffee table.
Yeah. It's just the lack. It's the lack of respect. Like, why would you just leave chicken nugget wrappers?
Look, stop.
All over the house.
Stop. Look, I understand that somewhere along the line, both of you two have hit your head on adult rocks and forgotten what it was like to be a child.
I wasn't allowed to be a child, so no.
And you act like none of you have ever done any of these things.
I'd have got my ass beat up and down my house if I would have flopped on my mom's couch the way that they do mine.
But you did though, right? And then you got your ass beat.
And then I never did it again.
Yeah, but we can't whoop ass, right? We're not allowed to whoop ass.
We can.
Just don't tell
it's legal.
Not if you want to keep them, but maybe
it's legal to spank your kids. You're allowed to spank kids.
And then it's just irresponsible for the state to take them, to give them to another family so that they can ruin another family's couch.
Poor family.
So that's just rude.
I think our kids just need to be let out and just be on their own, because they're gonna torture every family that they go to.
Let them be feral.
It's not wild. It's not
just
fair.
Give them a hobo sack at the end of a stick and.
Yes.
Hey, that's what they get. That's what mine's going to get on his 18th birthday.
You're not even going to buy him some good luggage, like a Samsonite?
No, I'm getting him a big ass hobo handkerchief. I've been looking for sticks ever since he was born, and like traveler's pack of deodorant, a switchblade, because you never know when you're going to have to cut a bitch, and then some soap.
Yep.
So you did, and then actually, and the handkerchiefs have gotten so much nicer now that they are stretchy, they are waterproof, so you can get a nice one. And I'm gonna start collecting stuff now. So when they're 18, I can each hand them a hobo stick and a brand new improved handkerchief.
Don't forget the Campbell's soup.
Today, Amazon is delivering his pee in a rod and make it drinkable water thing. So that's going to be awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's
my I know there's light at the end of the tunnel though, because my 20-year-old she moved out. Well, she lived with her mom mostly, but when she was a teenager, but she was here a lot. So she moved out when she was 18, and she's been on her own ever since, and she pays all her own bills. And when she comes over, she'll text me and say, "Do you need anything?" And when she gets here, she'll do any running that I need her to do. Wow. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. I'm hoping she's not like just a one-off, and like I'm hoping I'm going to eventually have the 3 of those.
No.
And I think
I think 3 is really out.
First of all, that's really fucking greedy of you to want that. That is really greedy of you. How dare some people beg for 1 child? You have that one, and you're like, I'd like 3 more. Well, fuck you. The universe doesn't work that way.
Well, Gabby's never leaving, so it's fine.
One of them is going to flop on that couch until they're 50.
It's going to be Gabby. I already know. I know
which one's Hollywood kid.
Which one's what?
Which
the
one's
same
Hollywood
one that's
kid?
on the couch.
Hollywood kid. What does that mean?
The kid that's going to pay your bills when you're older.
Well, Kayla, the oldest. She actually will say, like, if you ask her like what she wants to be when she grows up, or she says she doesn't really care. She just wants to make enough money to give her family a nice life.
Aww.
Yeah,
she doesn't mean you.
No, she does.
The person that she marries.
No,
that's
means
what
us.
she means. Her new family, the one that she passes through her vagina.
No, she says that her dad and I and her mom. She wants to give, and her sisters and her brother.
That's why I'm very fortunate in the fact that my mom actually has a retirement income. Like, I don't ever have to. That's one. I have to worry about the kids and weddings and all that stuff and college and everything. One thing I don't have to worry about is my mom, because she's on her own basically. But I never have to worry about her paying her bills because she's always going to get a monthly check. So I don't have to. That's one I don't have to worry about, because I am not set up for paying for anybody right now. I can't even pay for myself, and I'm like, time is running out. See, here's the problem, and I've said this all my life. You can lead 2 paths in life. You can either be a toll booth worker on the interstate on 80, 90 or whatever, and you can be a toll booth worker, and you can do that for 20 years from the time you're 25 and be miserable every fucking day, and then retire at like 50 and then have the rest of your life to do whatever you want, because you're always going to have money coming in. You get the retirement, you do all that stuff. So you have all that forever, but you've wasted your best 25 years, but now you're cool. Or you can do it like I did and have fun the prime time of my life and then be fucked when I'm 50. And unfortunately, that's the path I chose.
And work in the toll booth when you're 50.
The game of life is so real. Like the actual board game. Like when you get to those crossroads, it's so real. Yeah,
you're not getting
I chose the same path as Andrew. I decided, you know what? I want to be here now and invest a lot into my kids, and then just pray that one of these little shits does something right, so that when I'm old, I can just move in with them.
Right. And see, and a lot of people don't even understand that parenting is a lot like Mega Millions and Powerball. We all get one, and 9 times out of 10, they don't pay off. Like, you're just looking at these little fucking lottery tickets like, fuck, for real? This is what I got? You're just like, I was 1 number away. And it's you.
My retirement plan is to be a burden. I don't care who it is, but that's my plan.
I wish I liked seafood, because I'd just move to a beach somewhere and just be a beach bum. Like, I wish I could just like dig a hole and cook some crab or something.
There's the thing. I blame this on Hollywood too. Beach bumming is not a thing that is fun. I think people have fallen in. It's like being a hobo.
Falling in love. Yes.
When people are like, you know what, I'm just going to be a hobo and enjoy my life. Being a hobo isn't fun. Real. Yeah, there's fucking fire and barrels and shit. And this
sounds awesome.
Beach. Yeah, no, it doesn't. And not unless you're an R&B singer looking for a deal. That don't make like that shit don't make no sense. Like, and then living on a beach. No, fucking all types of shit can eat you. Then you get crabs. Like, and for real, like it's horrible. I couldn't imagine.
You get real crabs instead of the
crab. Yeah. They're like, holy shit, ma'am, you have Dungeness crab in your vagina. Like legit Dungeness crab. It is ridiculous.
I do never understand why a homeless person, if you're going to be homeless, I'm not going to be homeless here. It's like, it's cold. It's like, why? If you have no family to take care of you, so, you know, you're out on your own, I don't understand why you would do that here, where it's freezing and you have.
Well,
Because
I
you
can
don't
tell you
have
that
bus money.
an overwhelming amount of homeless people have mental illness. So we'll just start there. I thought that's not like that they're the most.
but
you
not
know,
all of them.
Well, let's just focus on the ones that don't, who just seem to be,
That's
you
gonna
know,
be
like-
the not
like
majority.
just the ones who absolutely I'm talking about the ones that always tend to find a clean piece of cardboard and a Sharpie. Those guys.
Smart,
like-
those smart ones.
Yeah,
Well-
the ones who were like, you know what, I have a family of 45 and I'm a World War II vet and I need money.
And they're
those
25.
guys. Yeah, but like you should at least start walking towards something warm.
I know exactly.
mean-
You just start walking. You start walking. You start hitchhiking. You start making the way that way.
Well, you're not hitchhiking anymore.
Yeah, and no one's picking people up anymore.
Nobody's picking. Yeah, it was that one
Yeah,
hitchhiker who
nobody's
killed
picking up.
somebody who ruined it for everyone.
Go ahead, Donnie. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, I mean, most of the homeless guys, they don't travel because they have like a 5-year plan. They just kind of dip into it. Like, all right, this is temporary. We're gonna work our way back up to living in a car, and then we're gonna go from there. Because like first thing you gotta do is get a car, so you can get the job, and then you get the job, and then you get a place, and you go up from there. So I think
My dad always told me if it came down to the rent of your car payment, you make your car payment because you can live in your car, but you can't drive your apartment.
First of
Wow.
all,
That's some weird
why the
advice. I
fuck
don't know
would
about
your
that
dad
advice.
have that conversation with you?
Because
Really? You gotta ask that,
it
D?
was part of the greater conversation of you're an adult, you're a man now. Don't come to me for help.
And he's like, look, we both know there's going to be a time when you're going to live in your car. So let's just get this out of the way right now. Why would he not give you that uplifting, you could be what you want to be speech instead of your
Have you met-
personality
have you met
is
Chris?
verging on
I was gonna say,
homelessness?
Well, you know
I
Yeah,
what?
know
because
that
my
is-
dad's realistic and not everybody can be whatever they want to be.
Go ahead, Ashley.
you got to give the whole side of the story. It's like you can be whatever you want to be, but if that doesn't work out, you might find yourself on the other end. In that case, make your car
I
payment.
love how you say your dad's realistic when in any movie he would be the asshole. Like in any movie, he's the
Yeah,
one.
but he gets redeemed at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
Oh
but
my
even Georgia said your dad's a dick.
He's a lovable dick. Yes.
I blocked
Aren't they
his
all?
dad on Facebook. I can't deal with him.
He's a lovable dick except for his support for Trump.
So,
Other than that,
so I just thought of something. And it's pretty genius. I like to help people. I know that I bought every car in my driveway. I bought for $1,000, and they usually last 6 months to a year. And then you go buy another one.
so you buy the Walmart of cars.
I buy vans. So I buy vans.
Yeah.
You get nice vans for $1,000, big grand, $1,200 or whatever. So
It's
I
the
think
best line for a car lot ever. Nice vans for $1,000.
It was the end for me, D. That was,
let's talk to Steve Taylor. Maybe we can give him an idea when we talk to him. But my
You
point
got a
is,
6-month commitment. We got a car for you.
my
Yeah.
point is, stop giving homeless people places to live. Give them vans where the back of the van has a mattress in it and it's ready to go. Because
Ooh, the Aztec.
the most genius thing that you guys said, I can't remember if it was Tiefel or Demetrius. The most genius thing you guys said was, you can't drive your apartment. So this way you still have a chance to live. You can be safe. You're not on the street. You have a car and you have,
And how are
Now
the
you have-
homeless people going to pay for the registration, title,
do
insurance,
all that. No, it's you do all that. Well, insurance. Yeah, they're going to have to figure out insurance.
get their license?
Oh, really?
driver's licenses.
Homeless people are the only ones that don't have insurance. Drive without insurance, please. Come on.
I mean,
Andrew just opened the Pandora's box there. Like, buy him $1,000 van.
It is-
Well, then we
it-
gotta
it-
pay
as
the
Gina-
reinstatement fee.
And as Gina pointed out, many of them are mentally ill. Do you really want to put that behind the wheel of a 10-ton vehicle?
First of all, who's driving a 10-ton vehicle? You didn't say putting them behind the fucking the steering wheel of a tank. We
I
just
like
said
to-
give
I
them
don't know how
like a
much cars
Chevy.
weigh. I just
Or-
threw a number out there.
How much do cars weigh?
Tiefel wants them to have a semi with like a full apartment in the back.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're
They
going
can live in the
if you're giving
basement.
them
Called an
what's the
RV.
gusto?
There's a
What-
whole name for that. It's called an RV, you guys. Like,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
brand new.
We're not handing out RVs though.
Yeah. And
I
We're
mean,
not
I
handing
don't
out
think that's a
vans.
bad idea. Why can't we hand out the small RVs? You know?
Well, I mean, those
maybe
are
that's
20.
what it is. Maybe homelessness has just needs a new like a rebranding, and maybe we just call them an RVing community without RVs.
It's a rebranding. You know, Gina and I have already talked about this. I look but yeah, but you guys are getting. I'm telling you these, but these vans, like minivans, Astro vans, all those, I can get for $1,000. These things are $100,000. I'd rather help 100,000 homeless people, 100 homeless people, than one homeless person. Give them a nice ass conversion van.
Yeah,
Because
your
I'll leave
vans
my
are going to
kids
come
right
with
now.
what?
Give
I
me
know,
that van. I'm out.
Your van will come with what, Andrew? Sleeping bags and a pillow?
Yeah, that's something like
Yeah,
that.
Hey,
There's
congratulations.
at least
If you
Go
have
to the meth lab.
nothing, though, if you have nothing and somebody gives you a
Right.
van, like if you're genuinely homeless, down on your luck, like not the people that choose it and not the people that are mentally ill and don't really can't choose it, but if you're really down on your luck and you genuinely need something, and somebody pulls up with a van and a bed in the back, oh, that's you hit the mother load.
lottery. It's lottery. It's lottery.
If you're not the person who didn't choose it, like if you're not mentally ill and but you're the person who necessarily didn't choose homelessness on there, but they're homeless anyway, doesn't that kind of suggest that they've burned all the other support bridges that they may or may not have?
Yes. To me,
No.
I think that too sometimes. I mean, I'm not
That's
saying
not-
it's right or wrong, but that is a thought that I believe goes through most people's heads.
That's not necessarily true, and I don't know. Like it's like you don't yell at somebody in a car because you don't know what level of crazy they're at. You don't look at somebody and go, "You're homeless" because you've made certain choices and burned certain bridges. I think that does a disservice to a lot of people when we're more quick to say, "Oh, well, homeless people are mentally ill," or some people just choose this. Everybody's different. Some people do. Some people are mentally ill. Some people just have never caught a break and don't know where to turn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although I
that's
will say that the homeless guy in the wheelchair blocking 11th and Madison yesterday on my way home from work, mentally ill. I'm calling
What
mentally ill. on
happened?
that
I
dude.
know. I've seen him. He's the guy that holds the paper, right?
Yeah,
guy
and
that
he
sells the
was
paper?
blocking the 11th and Madison, flagging cars down for directions to St. Paul's, which is literally right around the corner from where he was.
Aww.
He's
really friendly.
I gave him directions and everything, and then he started going off on the whole veteran money thing, and he's a spit talker, and we got COVID, and I just slowly started creeping my car away.
Aww. We over here we have a lot of churches around my area that do like soup kitchens and stuff. So there's a pretty high population of homeless people in my area, South and Broadway area. And so like I kind of got to know some of them a little bit, like not got to know them outside of stopping and chatting or whatever.
Hey Gina, what up, Chet?
No, there's a couple
Coming over for dinner tomorrow.
Yeah,
and so
How are things out on the streets, Gina?
So
You're
like
good,
I'll go in and buy them some food or whatever when I'm out somewhere and I see them out. And there was one guy, I noticed he had a hospital bracelet on, so I stopped and talked to him, and he said, and he had like a really raspy voice. He said, "Well, I have throat cancer, and they said I don't have very long to live." And he was very clearly an alcoholic. At least one of his vices was alcohol. And I never would ever give him money. I always bought him food because I don't want to contribute to the problem. But after he told me that, I was like, "What kind of beer do you drink?" And I just started buying him beer every time I saw him, because at that point now it's quality over quantity. Like if the beer makes that man happy, then give that man the beer. So I used to go in and buy him a couple of tall boys, and every time I saw him. And
I've never understood that argument with the homeless people. If I was homeless, I'd appreciate a little bit of liquid comfort to get me through the night. I'm gonna give them money. I don't care what they spend it on. I'm probably gonna spend it on drugs and booze. So
yeah, I think Brenda's right too. The being a part of that whole system. But however, they usually provide kids that age out of the what Brenda said was sometimes it's 18-year-olds who have aged out of foster care. They do have a whole system in place where the foster kids do get help as far as places to live goes. So, but if they somehow fell through the cracks or something like that, that is true. There's you guys don't even it would take us 3 shows to cover the problems in the foster care and children's services departments.
The problem is, once the state or federal, once there's a program in place, they'll do it the same way for 200 years. Like there's so much bureaucracy, they don't know how to fix this. Like since I was a kid, I've heard about how bad the system is if your kids get into the system and how screwed up it is. But no one's trying to fix it. And there's so many smart people that could fix it.
And it just sucks because everybody, like individuals that I've dealt with through all the systems are amazing. Like they have a seriously amazing staff going on, and these people care. And I feel like you have to care to do this job because there's not enough money in the world. But like you said, it's the bureaucracy of it. It's the agency.
And it's never going to change because there's too many people that are comfortable in the system. And it's just, the systems are a mess.
Hot mess.
Every government system we have is an absolute. Why do we have to go to get our registration at one and then walk next door to another building to get a title? That can all be in one. Like, this just makes no sense. Like,
they do have the all-in-one now on Heather Downs, that's why I go to that one, because it makes total sense.
And why there's still ones that don't. I mean, it's just so stupid.
It is stupid.
Yeah, but you also get the title first, man. You get the title, then you go to the registration.
But this should all be in one building.
Tiefel, I cannot with you.
You get the title, then you get the power.
Well, no, I like going. That's why I like going to the downtown one, because the offices are like right across the hall from each other.
Right, it is in Oregon too.
Anyway.
Wow.
So it is a pain in the ass.
Are you old people done bitching about the DMV?
I don't know how we got on the DMV from homeless people.
Really showing your age,
literally, you guys went from Children Protective Services to what the fuck is wrong with me getting my sticker and my title in the same?
It's because of government agencies.
Go ahead, Ashley.
If Andrew wasn't buying a new van every 6 months, it wouldn't be a big deal. But since he has to be there 5 times a year, it's a huge inconvenience. Okay,
a little bit. So let me ask you guys a question. So you were talking earlier. Demetrius was talking about the romanticizing of being a hobo and riding the rails, and what Hollywood has done to it, or living on the beach and just fishing crab and then whatever.
And growing up to be a lifeguard. That's not a fucking job choice. Stop it, Baywatch.
Well, it
wasn't a real fucking thing.
Like $7 an hour.
If I saw a 40-year-old fucking lifeguard, you know what I'd assume? He made some bad life decisions. That's what I would assume. I wouldn't assume he's at his dream job.
Well, you should assume that.
Did you guys read Boxcar Kids when you were younger?
Yes.
See, that romanticized the whole riding the rails.
Okay, so my point is, another thing that is romanticized is just leaving it all and hitting the road in an RV. But that is one that I like. Colleen and I are both on that dream, and Gina and I have talked about it. That if we didn't have kids, or the kids were on their own, and we didn't have anything here, I would absolutely jump in an RV and live out of that thing, and I would love it. I think I would love it. Just going place to place, living in campgrounds, seeing the country. I don't need a house. Like, the only reason I have a house is to house these little bastards. Other than that, I don't need a big house. I need
Then pack a bag, grab an umbrella, and get the fucking walking.
Yeah. See ya.
You can get really nice RVs for about $1,500 on Facebook Marketplace.
As soon as my kids graduate, they're either going to come or they're going to stay. I don't give a shit, but we are leaving. We are we already have plans. I've already talked to people. I've checked out cost of living. I've talked to my mom and dad because they're the only reason we're here to begin with, and said, will you come with us when we move? And they said yes. So I said, okay, we're out. Like, I've already done all of this. Like, I'm so out of Ohio second.
Does anyone else?
You guys just want to. So you guys just want to like promise land it, where you just get a huge camper, put the family in there, and travel from town to town doing odd jobs?
Yes.
Johnny and I have talked about doing it too, but I feel like after I finally pass this Ohio real estate exam, I'm never moving out of Ohio. So we'll be here for a while.
There's no
I
reciprocity.
really don't. Yeah, is there reciprocity for real estate licenses? I have no idea.
No, I don't think so. I think you have to take the test for every state. So.
Oh man!
Every state you go in, you guys will be there 6 months because Ashley's still taking tests.
Yeah. So see you guys. Have fun on your road trip.
I know. I just it sounds fun. I don't know if it would be.
Yes, you guys go crisscross the country solving crimes with your fucking Great Dane. It'll be amazing.
Right?
Yes. The new Scooby-Doo Adventures with Andrew and Gina. Yeah. Hey.
Wait. Listen, Andrew and Gina together though might be really good.
We have to have separate RVs.
Yeah,
I'm not be in the same RV. I wouldn't mind like meeting up here and there with him and Kelly, but I don't think we're gonna live together.
What about this? Hold on. What about this, Gina?
Ooh.
We get an RV, and then we have a
van.
Then we have a trailer connected to it, like on the, but not in the same place. So I can live so we can take turns driving, but one family lives in the trailer and one family lives in the RV, and we just pull each other all through the country.
But Andrew, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
It's like
have you ever
limousine.
been in an RV yourself? Like
what?
Physically, have you ever physically been in an RV yourself?
Not in a long time.
I mean, I like was this long time back when you had hair?
Probably.
Okay, because I think you would find it difficult to maneuver.
They are very small. I'd have to lose a lot of weight if I'm going to shower them.
I could barely fit in an RV bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, no, you don't.
And
shower
he spent hours in there waiting for that family to come back.
Go ahead, Donnie P.
Well, yeah, you don't really. The bathroom in the RV is like for extreme emergencies. You don't shower there. You shower at the park or wherever your stop is.
If I can't take a Tuesday on the go, what's the point of having the bathroom in the RV?
Oh, you stop like you normally would when you take a road trip, you freak.
All right, you guys. It is 7
Stop on
o'clock.
cruise control, head to the back.
7 o'clock. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate it. If you get a chance and you're watching the feed or you're listening, share it on your Facebook page, make comments, hit the little like buttons, or what do they call those, the likes or the loves or the hearts. Reactions. We give some reaction. We'd appreciate it. All of that helps us. All right. It's time for our special guest. And I had the phone screwed up yesterday, so we weren't able to get him on, but he's on with us today. His name's Steve Taylor. He owns, of course, Taylor Kia and the Taylor family of automotive dealerships. You may have had your eye on a new car for months, but you're avoiding the dealership. After all, everyone knows the frustrations that come with buying a car. You spend hours waiting for the salesperson, crunch numbers, check with their manager, only to feel like a feeling that they that they've won, and wondering whether you really got a good deal. Well, Steve Taylor has now written a book called Tailor Made, and it goes through the step-by-step buying process of buying a car. Look at Donnie's holding up the book right now, and Steve Taylor is on the phone with us. Hey, Steve.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing, man? Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I was enjoying that segment before I got on. I thought it was actually you guys were talking about that whole road trip and RV deal for me because what we say at the dealership, Donnie P says it all the time. You can live in your car, but you can't drive your house. So,
exactly.
What's the big deal?
And now we've just given Steve a new idea. Taylor RV coming soon to where you can. They're selling dream homes now.
You don't even need an RV anymore. You got a SUV. You can get an inflatable mattress in the back. They make them especially that'll fit in the back seats even of the car, so you get an extra row of sleeping.
Nice.
So. No, man, you're good. All you need is an SUV. You're ready to roll.
See, let me ask you a question.
So you can just drive and hide your house from being foreclosed?
Exactly. Now, Steve, you obviously have a lot of pressure on you. You've got dealerships, you've got employees, you've got a family to worry. You have a lot of worries. Are we going to sell enough cars this month or whatever? Have you ever thought of, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to jump in an RV and I'm going to go and I'm going to live the rest of my life as a hobo. Have you ever thought of that?
For sure. And I actually got to take a road trip, like a 3-week out west road trip, right after college. I loved it. It was one of the best trips ever. My wife and I, we weren't married at the time. One of my best friends, the three of us went out. We packed up. We just drove out to the national parks. We camped. We had, just a couple tents that we just throw up. We'd hike, we'd fish. It was awesome. And we keep saying we're going to do it with our kids, and we're going to do it in an RV. We're going to do the whole thing. But I think it always sounds better in your mind than in reality.
Yes. Especially when you
doing
put
it
kids in
yourself with your friends is a lot different than dragging your 10, 12-year-old along with you.
Yeah. Like, what's the Wi-Fi password at this national park
Oh
is going
my
to be,
God.
is going to get old after 6 times.
But it is true, Steve. It's one of those things. God, I remember that having such a good time, and then you take your kids, and it's like these little bastards are fighting, and you're like, oh my God, why did I do this? I can't send you to your room. Where it would drive. Yeah. I remember we did take a trip as a kid, and we got an RV and we drove around and whatever, but. Dude, we just got on each other's nerves. And we took my grandma and my grandpa, and they had been divorced for 25 years, but we thought it'd be fun to take the whole family. It was an absolute nightmare because my grandma still wanted to be with my grandpa, but my grandpa didn't want to be with my grandma. He had other girlfriends, and they're both in the RV. So grandma's thinking this is a time to rekindle the thing after 25 years. And grandpa's
Wasn't that the time where you left your grandma in the hospital too?
My great grandma came. She ended up getting a heart attack or something on the trip. We had to leave her behind. It was.
I want that to be a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Have you seen National Lampoon?
Yeah. National Lampoon.
Grandpa to the top of the car.
National Lampoon.
I think Steve's book is number 2 on the auto.
I saw that in the auto category on Amazon. Bro. Your book is number 2. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, man, it's pretty exciting. It was a bucket list goal of mine for a long time. I thought about it for probably the last 8 or 10 years, always writing chapter titles down and making notes and having an outline. And really, the problem today with buying a car, people hate it, right? People would rather go get a root canal, serve on jury duty, get a colonoscopy. They'd rather do anything than come in to shop for a car. And we've understood that for a while, so we try to change the way we do things at our dealerships. But I thought, I want to help people regardless of it, whether they come to us or whether they are buying a car in California or, Colorado, wherever. So this book sort of gives you a behind-the-scenes look at some of the things, the insider tips and secrets, if you will, like behind-the-curtain kind of stuff. So we talk about ways to negotiate a fair price, how to get more for your trade. We talk about how important credit is to your payment. A lot of people don't realize that they can save so much time when they come in to buy a car if they do just a little bit of research beforehand. And that's the beauty of the internet now. You can find anything you want online. You can find the invoice price of a car. You can find out the approximate value of your trade-in. You can find out your credit score. You can get your accurate payoff on your car. All those things, if you do them before you come into the dealership, they'll help you save all sorts of time and help you save some money. So we're just giving some insider tips to help people the next time they come in, because Donnie says it all the time. If you ever follow his Facebook page, he says car buying should be fun. You should have a good time when you're buying a car. And that's the way we all feel at our dealerships. And I don't think as many people around the country, I don't think they treat customers the same way. And I don't think customers get the same experience as when they buy a car from one of our stores. So we're trying to shed a little knowledge to everybody around the country and say, hey, buying a car should be a fun experience, should be something you enjoy. So we're going to walk them through that whole buying process and give them some tips to help them enjoy the experience. It should be fun.
Talking to Steve Taylor, new book, Taylor Made. Go ahead, Demetrius.
Steve, yes. What would you say are the 2 biggest mistakes people make when they come into a car lot looking for a car?
Oh, man. Well, the first thing I just touched on it is not doing your research. If you come into the dealership and you're looking at a $35,000, $40,000 SUV and you have this idea in your head that you want to pay $300 a month, it's probably not going to happen. You do simple math. You take $30,000 divided by 60 months, you're looking at a $500 payment before interest and taxes. So I think just people coming in sometimes with, maybe their expectations are a little different or too high. And a lot of times those expectations are set too high because of credit. Unfortunately, people's credit affects the interest rates they qualify for, right? So, the worse your credit, the higher your interest rate is going to be. So a lot of times we have a struggle when people come in and they have that certain payment in mind, and it's, usually $250, $300 a month. even though the average car payment in America is inching up closer and closer to $600 a month. It's like $580 a month, I believe, right now. So I think that's the biggest challenge. People come in and have these expectations that they're going to drive away in this brand new, fully loaded, all-wheel drive SUV, for $250, $300 a month. We can help you do that, but it might require some money down. It might require maybe leasing if you qualify. It might, there's other options to get around your budget, but just walking in and saying, "Hey, I'm going to buy this car for $300 a month," that's pretty hard to do. So that would be the first thing. One of the other things I think there's always been a challenge is people come into a dealership expecting confrontation. Like I said, people don't like coming in shopping for a car because usually in the past they've had a bad experience at a dealership. There's been this head-butting back and forth. There's been it's almost like an adversarial relationship from the get-go before they've even met anybody. Mm-hmm. And what we try to do is all our salespeople, we've got a guy that actually, he's a trainer for us. All he does all the time is help train our people to be better salespeople, to be better service advisors, to be better employees, and treat customers the way they'd want to be treated. And so our people, they really come in. They're not salespeople. They're service providers. They're solution specialists. They want to find out how to help you. And I think a lot of people don't come into the dealership expecting to create a relationship with a salesperson. And so many of our salespeople, once they've made a friend when they sell a car. And you can just look at Donnie P and his Facebook followers, his Facebook friends. He hasn't just sold a car. He's gained somebody now in his circle that he has a relationship with. So he's trying to create a friendship with these folks because, let's face it, people have a doctor, they got an attorney, they've got a dentist, they even have a real estate agent. Everyone's got this core group that they call on, but not many people have that car guy or car gal that they call on. That's the trusted advisor. They can call for anything, whether you need a new car, a used car, or even service work done. Wouldn't it be nice to have somebody in the industry that you could just pick up the phone or shoot a message on Facebook to and say, "Hey, I have a question or I need some help." And that's what our people are trying to do, is really create that relationship with our customers so they have that trusted advisor in the dealership so they don't feel scared. They don't feel like they've got to come in and fight every time they're at the dealership. So we're trying to do it different, man, and change the world.
Go ahead, Gina.
So my whole family buys cars from Donnie. Like I send them all to Donnie. And so whenever anybody's talking about I need a new car or anything, they don't say I have to go car shopping. They say, well, it's time to call Donnie. Like that's it's not a matter because and here's why I tell everybody to go to Donnie. And I think Steve, you have your whole system is set up this way. I don't think Donnie's the only one there. I think that all of your employees are like this, but I trust him. Like I know I sent my daughter to him because I know that he's not going to push her into something she can't afford. You guys aren't going to, you're not going to try to upsell her. That's not the goal. The goal is what can you afford? Let me find something that fits that. It's not the other way around. It's not, let me see how much money I can make off of you. So, Donnie is a really good example of the way that you do things there. And I think it's amazing. So thank you for that. Cause Donnie, seriously, I think my whole family, right? My kid has come to you, my sister, my dad, and then I've sent some friends to him as well.
Thank you so much, Gina.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you for the compliment. And exactly though, Donnie is doing a great job, and that's why he does so well every month, is because people trust him and people come back. And like you said, they send their family, they send their friends to him, and then people that have already bought from him, they come back to him every single month. And as much as we want to say how great Donnie is, we got some other people that do the same thing, right, Donnie?
Yeah, the whole team.
He's not the only one.
Donnie's like, yes, sir. Yes, we do.
Steve, I do have a question for you. Car buying is all about the negotiation. I do have some negotiation for. I have ordered your book already, and I'm looking forward to getting it and reading it just to support you. Now, how about putting the Andrew Z in the Morning Show up on the big screen there on 5 and giving us a little plug.
Done. Yeah, let's send over the logo. Donnie, we'll do it. We'll get it up today.
Woo!
Oh, fun.
Oh, and we also came up with a new budget thing called a van for $1,000. I don't know how that really how that flips your switch, but we could just kick around a couple more ideas. A car from afar, a bike for a trike. You know, we got a bunch of things that rhyme.
We're all brand new dealerships. Like this new one, Steve, it's used vans for $1,000, and all the vans on there are $1,000. You know, the used vans. And I think this dealership could be huge. We could partner on it, get some land. do you like that?
Yeah, I'm always up for a new opportunity. That sounds good. It might be difficult to find a couple of these vans. We might have 2 or 3 cars on the lot. I don't know how long they'll last.
Go ahead, Chris Tiefel. You have a question for Steve Taylor.
Yeah, you know, you're talking about giving away secrets and giving advice and everything in your book there, and I'm just curious: is it true that if I come on like the 30th or 31st of the month or at the end of the quarter, that you guys are more apt to give me a better deal because you guys are trying to close out that book?
Good question.
Sure. So that's been a long-standing, I guess, common practice that customers say, hey, it's the end of the month or even at the end of the year, you know, the last week of December, you're going to get a better deal. And, you know, I think it really is determined on which dealership and which model that you're looking at. There are some, it used to be crazy for us. I will tell you that the end of the month used to be a lot different because the manufacturer would have these large incentives that were based on volume. So the more you sold, you'd have a chance to get some money from the manufacturer. And I believe most of the manufacturers have gotten away from those stair-step programs. So I don't think it's as big as it used to be. I can even tell you from our own experience, we used to sell 50% of our cars maybe in the last 25% of the month. And it doesn't seem like it's the same anymore. And I think the main reason is there's not that big push to reach the volume on the new car side to get those incentives from the manufacturer. I will tell you, though, salespeople, dealerships have pay plans set up that are based on volume, where they'll have some bonuses set aside for the salespeople. So salespeople typically will still be aggressive and hungry to try to hit their personal goal so they can try to get their bonus, you know, or hit their number. So you'll have some salespeople that'll say, all right, hey, I need to hit 3 more cars here in the last 2 days to hit my goal. So you might find a salesperson that says, hey, I'm gonna find whatever I can do, you know, work a little harder to get this deal done for the customer so they hit their objective. But that's one of those things we do talk about in the book, because any little advantage the customer can have on getting a better deal is you know, advantageous for them. So by all means, I would still say, if you can hold off, come in the end of the month, there's a chance you could get a better deal just by coming in and finding the right salesperson that's trying to hit their goal.
One last question, Steve. You've been doing this a long time, and it sounds like you're passionate about the business. Obviously, if you wrote a book, what are some things, if you were to build the perfect dealership, outside the box stuff that nobody's doing now, what are a couple things that you would incorporate as part of the car buying experience that you're like, oh, I think this would be cool if we did this or this, something you haven't done yet maybe, but you've thought about?
Yeah, sure. The first thing that comes to mind is putting like a little restaurant or cafe inside the dealership, like a Subway or something, that people could come in, they could have a sandwich, have lunch or dinner. Sometimes the car buying process, even if we're trying to speed it up, it could take a little bit when we're working with people that maybe have some bumps and bruises on their credit, and we've got to really fight with the banks to try to get an approval for them, go back and forth, and it might require pay stubs and utility bills and things like that. So a lot of times we're buying food for the customers. We're saying, all right, hey, go out and grab a sandwich and we'll work on this. I've always thought, though, if you have a little cafe or had a little restaurant in the dealership where people could come in, even people that maybe just they came to visit the restaurant. They had they weren't even in the market for a car, but it became a local little gathering spot. I always thought that was something, if we redid any of our stores and maybe put a little cafe or a restaurant in there. The other spot is if I had all unlimited resources and unlimited room, I would definitely build a large kids play area. Like I'm talking like, Chick-fil-A, what you see at Chick-fil-A with the ball pit and all that stuff. Because a lot of times people bring their kids, they don't have anywhere else for their kids to go. And so we've got, single mothers that are out there with their kids and they're looking for a new car. And you've got these kids that are there and they don't want to be there. And so having a place that the kids could go and that parents knew they were safe and they could play and have a good time. I think that would be something I would definitely do if I was going to build a dealership from scratch.
It's funny.
If I had unlimited budget and unlimited room, man, a place for the kids.
Both of those are genius because I'm guessing that a lot of deals have been put on hold because the kids just can't wait anymore, and they're like, all right, I gotta go, my kid's being crazy, blah blah whatever. So if you had that option to where there's a kids play area and a girl in there supervising, and they're playing games and doing arts and crafts and stuff, that kid will be there for hours, watching a movie. Those kids will be there for hours. Once you get rid of that problem, then I'm guessing that the parents are going to be more apt to stay and actually put time in. That's both of those are so good. I love it. Maybe
and we do. Well, I was gonna say right now what we try to do is we've got, like Donnie will tell you, we got like a toy chest. We've got coloring books. We've got candy for the kids. We do things right now to try to keep them occupied.
Yeah.
And try to help them out, have some fun. But at the end of the day, it would be fantastic to have like a little area for them.
Yeah. All right, Steve Taylor. The book.
Wait, I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Just one question, Steve. So since you have all these dealerships and you deal with a bunch of different personality types, as a business owner, what is your number one piece of advice for dealing with so many personalities and lots of strong personalities?
Oh man, you guys are throwing me some curveballs here. I'm not ready for these questions. Thanks, Ashley. I thought you set me up with a softball.
Hey, listen, you can think about it and get back to me, but that's like a genuine question that I have because, there's a lot of employees. He houses a lot of people, so.
Sure. So here's the first thing that comes to mind is you've got to manage people and you've got to work with people based on their personality traits and based on how they operate. And here's what I mean by that is we have a program where when people come in, we ask it's a dream discovery toolkit. We find out what their biggest goals are in life, what their major dreams are. We find out some fun facts about them, like education background, high school, college, family information, where they went to school, how many kids they have, favorite lunch hangout, favorite place to go to dinner, favorite vacation spot. You have to sing a karaoke song. What would it be? So we ask all these questions, and one of the other sheets we have is we find out who their 3 greatest centers of influence are, and then we find out 5 characteristics about each of those centers of influence. So that tells us a lot about the person. So let's take, for instance, one guy. He might say his football coach, his drill instructor, and his dad. And so those 3 guys in his life were the most important centers of influence, and it was because of hard work. It was because of discipline. Those type of traits. And then take another employee who might say it was his kindergarten teacher, it was his grandma, and it was his mother. And it was because of compassion and listening and love. So when we find out that information, now I know I manage those 2 people differently, right? Like I talked to the guy whose drill instructor was his main center of influence. To get a hold of that guy and to be able to relate with him and have a conversation where he's going to listen to me and respect me, I probably need to be a little more forthright and in his face and maybe, punch him in the mouth every now and then to say, hey, come on, I can do this. On the other hand, the guy who's, more compassionate and loving and he's more of a listener, that I couldn't talk to him the same way, right? I'd have to definitely put on my kit gloves and have a sit down conversation and talk about things in the way that it relates in his mind. And we do that. We try to manage people not in a box. You don't put everybody in the same box and treat everyone the same way. And we try to manage our people differently based on their individual, habits and their individual personality traits. And I think that's, especially in a world like sales where you do have a million type of personality traits, you've got to be able to do that to be successful. If you try to manage and coach everyone the same way, it'll be a disaster.
Right.
I honestly see that happening for sure. And I think that that's amazing that not only does he say that, that is their business model. Like they do that. So
yeah, you can tell it's not just BS the way you're talking about it, Steve.
Yeah.
Man, thank you for getting up early, man. Thanks for calling in. Sorry about yesterday. Steve Taylor, the book is called Taylor Made.
No worries.
And we appreciate you, brother. Thank you for always supporting everything we do, man. Love
Thanks,
you.
Steve.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. Hey,
Hey, thanks.
before I go,
Get down in your race.
Hey,
right now,
hold
I've
on.
got my special ebook, 99 cents. You can go on and get it on Amazon. The paperback's $12.99, but the ebook this week is just 99 cents.
Oh, wow.
So check it out. Maybe you'll learn some tips and save some money at the dealership next time you go in.
Cool. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
Bye.
See you later.
Steve Taylor, the book is called
Literally.
Taylor Made. Yeah, see you later. He seems like a good dude. I like that guy.
He is. Oh my
The
gosh.
link to the book is in the
so good.
comments.
What's that? The link to the book is
The link to the book is in the comments.
Yeah, like it's I always pride myself on, like we talked about being a solution provider, but I really feel like I'm working at a place that has like these values and this different style. Like I kind of put it in the category of like a Google or a Pixar, like a place that's like creative where you can actually come up with these crazy ideas, whether it goes past the idea stage, but everything is on the table,
Yeah. And he's always like so supportive too of like any ideas. He's a great.
What a blast.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into Ebenezer Bushrod with the WTF news. Ebenezer, go right away.
Well, I'd like to introduce you all to somebody I've gotten to know recently. His name is Jason Collier. He was appointed police chief of Stinnett, Texas, back in February. Stinnett, Texas, is a town about 2,000 people. He's also an ordained minister, and he's married to his lovely wife Opal, and they have 4 children. 2 are his, 2 are hers.
Sounds cool.
So it's a nice little family, nice little small town in Texas. You figure not much is going on, but then you enter in Cecily Steinmetz from Amarillo. See, Cecily.
Cecily.
Sorry, Cecily here. Apparently started dating Jason not too long ago, and he actually ended up proposing to her in November after telling her that his marriage to his wife had been annulled.
Oh, that's
on there. So they and they've been dating a while, and after they got engaged, she posted a picture of herself and him, made it her profile picture. Well, mutual friend, Amarillo's not too far from Steinmetz, and mutual friends saw the photo. And then they went and they told it. They pointed it out to a woman, and I can't find her name on here.
Christy.
Yeah, Christy. They pointed out to Christy Schaefer here. Hey, look at this photo.
Hold on. Colleen just ran in here. What's your problem?
Her name's Christy Schaefer.
Yeah,
and
Christy Schaefer. They pointed out to Christy Schaefer. And the reason why they pointed out to Christy Schaefer is...
Hold on. She's talking. You just jump right in.
Well, hold on. Go.
Okay, but then there's like a whole entire girlfriend from 2019 missing. Lauren. Like there's so many. It's insane.
They're missing
is more than a news story.
Yeah, keep going, Tiefel. It gets in this story. Gets
I don't think we have time.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have all of the intimate details on here. All I know is what I've seen, and Colleen can give us a bit more. But the reason why they pointed the picture out to this woman is because apparently she's also another woman that the police chief has proposed to and thought she was exclusively dating and engaged to on here. And things have blown up ever since. These two mistresses have hooked up, and they have started delving into the mystery that is their double engagement to the same man. And it has come up with multiple girlfriends, missing women, and things of that nature.
So Georgia, can you put the timeline up?
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a little. I'm not following here. Where did we start, and where are we now?
Okay, so this lady posts a picture of her and her new fiance, and somebody recognizes him as somebody else's fiance. So goes and tells her. She jumps on to Cecily's status and says, "Hey, and they start talking, and they figure out." Then another girl comes in and says, "Well, I just started dating him a month ago." So there's 2 women. There's 2 women that are engaged. There's one that's a girlfriend, and then there's a wife, Opal. So
but there's Sarah too who's dating him.
Right. So then since then, more women have come forward and said, I am also dating him. And they're figuring out dates. Like, well, on the 15th, he said he was going to do this. And then one of them will say, oh, I was with him on the 15th. So they're figuring out his whole schedule and timeline. And then throw into the mix, he dated a girl a couple of years ago who was mysteriously missing. So that's before the wife, there was another girl.
Ew, I just got chills.
And
I can't even get one woman. This guy's basically the white Tiger Woods.
And he's not even a solid 5.
They never are. He's probably just
what's funny is like, for a chance, if they put a camera on this, It'd be hilarious because women would be fucking volunteering to date him all at the same time. But now, since it's not officially The Bachelor, everybody's pissed off.
That's so true.
He's just on his journey. He's on his journey.
He's on his journey.
Trying to be genuine.
Here's the timeline that we posted on our Facebook page. The first woman to come forward posted a picture of her and her fiance when she found out he was married. Then that was Cecily, and then Christy, the second woman to come forward, met Jason in December after seeing Cecily's post. She too was engaged to Jason. Then Opal, his current wife. Then there's Lauren, allegedly a former ex-girlfriend of Jason who has been missing since 2019 under very mysterious circumstances. Then there's Katie, was currently involved with Jason. She discovered the post. Jason messaged when it was all starting to hit the fan and said that there was, quote, he was, quote, not in a good place to continue seeing her. Then there's Heather.
Hey, yeah, you're not.
Yeah, and then he broke up with a couple of them. He told he told Cecily they were no longer compatible because she did not enjoy the same foods as him.
Maybe he just
after this post.
Women.
So then
not because he's seeing all these women. He's breaking up. They catch him, and then he starts breaking up with them one by one and telling them what they did wrong. This dude is
narcissist.
Then there's Rob, allegedly a former high school classmate of Jason's, posted that he was molested by Jason in high school.
No.
Then there's Brianna, who posted screenshots of pictures and text between her and Jason, and it goes on and on. Go ahead, Colleen.
Okay, so first off, the one Cecily,
yeah.
she goes by the name Chase. I figured that out. Also, like it's insane. You have to go read all of the stuff. The Netflix series, they're trying to make a Netflix series out of it.
What?
Oh
my
boy.
god! What in the world?
But seriously though, hold on. The one chick, Christy Schaefer, so she will sit there and it's like, okay, well, he was with me on the 15th. Well, he was with me on the 18th. She is fighting for the relationship with him.
Oh God.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And she's went back and deleted all of her screenshots and everything. And then he was in a really bad place. So he was over there talking to her last night and she posted about it.
And so I noticed that.
Hold on, one at a time. Go ahead, Gina.
I noticed when I was reading through this, the beginning of this clusterfuck, I noticed that she was saying things like, when Cecily said, well, he just, oh my God, he just told me that we can't be together because we don't like the same foods. So then Christy chimes in with oh yeah, he said that we like all the same foods, and then listed all the foods she likes. So I knew as soon as I read that comment, I'm like, ooh, this girl's still all in. You could tell.
Yes, and then she made a competition out of the engagement ring. Well, what was your budget?
And this goes back to the whole why you have a lot of kids and you hope one pays off, right? Right? Because if he only had 2 of those girls, both of them would have dumped his ass. But he's got 10. And out of the 10, one's going to stand up and be like, that's my man.
Well, that should be the theory with all of us then. We should all have 10 women just
go ahead and see what happens to you.
I'm saying just
First
in case.
of all,
did any of them have the exclusivity talk with him? Did they actually sit down and be like, yeah, we're dating?
I think
I think the fact that he was married is
that's
he proposed. Tiefel, how much more dating can you get than giving him a diamond ring and telling him you want to marry them?
It was probably a Cuban zirconia.
How about we just give this man a shout out for his time management skills? Come on. Let's be real.
Go ahead, Gina. Go ahead, Colleen.
I have to go take the little bastards, as Andrew calls them, to school. So that was all. I just had to chime in.
Hey, can they clean up the McDonald's they left all over my desk?
He probably wasn't even going to work. I guarantee it's going to come out that somehow he hasn't been making money.
No,
he lost his job a while ago.
If you have all put on administrative leave.
Yeah. So then the other side of this too is that he also got put on administrative leave not because he was seeing all the women, because of time management, lack of time, he was seeing them on the clock. So he was out visiting. They figured out he was out visiting some of these women while he was on duty. Yeah, and so they have put him on administrative leave to see if he was doing these things during the time he was at work, because he's going to lose his job definitely. He has pictures of himself or videos that he sent these girls in uniform, and he's sending them apology videos, and And so, and
It's
they're
gonna take a little
posting
more than a
everything.
video of him in his uniform.
So
That's crazy. All right, what Tiefel, you opened up a can there.
hey, it's a can. It's a can. I didn't realize it went as deep as it did. That's not.
Oh my God! Really? You talk about a man and 11 women that he's cheating with, and you don't think the 4 women that are on earshot of this show wouldn't have an opinion about what the fuck you just brought up.
Here's the thing about
Colleen was laying on the couch. She jumped up.
No, I didn't. It's not that I didn't think. It's not that I didn't think that they'd have an opinion on it. It's that I didn't know it went as deep as it did from what I found.
Right, and here's why he didn't. Because this started 2 days ago, okay? And it started out as just a guy that had 2 fiancés and a wife, which probably wasn't going to make it very far because I think
Tom Selleck movie ever.
So it starts with this, and it was pretty slow moving until other people start jumping in, and it was all within like the last 24 hours that the rest of the information hit. Like for a whole day, it was just 2 women and a dude talking about a dude on Facebook. So that didn't get. So when Tiefel saw it when it first started to hit the news, not everybody had come forward. This all happened within the last 24 hours. He was put on administration leave. They found out about this missing girlfriend. Like all of that happened within 24 hours.
This guy is a risk. I think that they need to lock him down.
Well, I bet you they're going to very seriously investigate this ex-girlfriend for sure.
I didn't know that this was that new, and I had never heard of the story until right this second.
Me either, Andrew.
Yeah, yesterday morning, somebody sent it to me and said, check this mess out. And so I was reading through, and at the time, like I said, it was just yesterday morning, it was just 2 girls. And from there, all day, I started seeing more and more and more. And then it just got to the point now where it's like, this can't be real. Like there's gotta be. Now I'm questioning other people coming forward. Like there's just not any possible way.
Well, and then Colleen said,
"Handle with Texas. There isn't much to do."
Colleen said Cecily posted on like a gossip page for the town, and then now she's getting death threats, and it's so weird. The country that we live in now, that's been, and I'm not going to mention his. I'm not even going to go there, but it's so weird how. No matter how you could be 100% wrong, and yet there's still this community that will just come together and just support, no matter what the crazy is. They don't care what the crazy is, but there'll be a group of them that will just come to his defense. It's so, I don't know. It's
I feel like a lot of that is troll. Like people don't really defend they don't really feel that way. They just do it just to have something to argue about.
There is a thing called opposite. It's some sort of opposite thing where if everyone does something, you have a personality where you're just going to say the opposite just to be opposite. Like if everyone wants,
it's called woman.
It's called woman.
I
have one of those.
That's funny that you decided to go down.
I think it's just people. I have one of the kids is like that. One of the kids I have here is like that.
One of our kids, like if you have 5 people in a room and 4 of them will say spaghetti, the other one, you always know which one is going to say no spaghetti because it's the same person because they just want to be opposite.
Dude, well, see, I get that way with Ashley when I'm tired, like at night. I catch myself. I'm like, why am I arguing with her? I agree.
Right.
I feel the same way. I just want to say the opposite thing.
I'm like, you're just so annoying. Why? Duh.
All right, real quick. So, Ebenezer, I think, are we moving on from this?
So we got a few more here.
Before you do, Ebenezer, I want to see if it's in your lineup. I need to know. This is the big story of the last 24 hours. That I didn't understand, didn't even know about. The other story of the last 24 hours that I don't understand is this GameStop, Elon Musk. I don't understand what is going on with the stock thing. Is that in your purview?
I could talk about it, but it wasn't one of the stories I was planning on talking about.
All right, hold on, Demetrius, go ahead.
It is a nationwide pump and dump. Is what it is. It is.
Can't call it that, or the FCC will get you.
Well, that's what it is,
and
that's why they're investigating. But what has happened is, as rich people's worst nightmare, and a bunch of regular people pooled all their money together and started buying up GameStop stock, and drove the price up. Now Wall Street has been betting on GameStop to collapse, and so they have been selling a lot of stock short, which means that they sell it at a price, and if the stock price drops, they buy it back, and then they make up that difference. Now the problem with GameStop now is that they've been selling it short, and the prices have been rising. So now they've been paying more for this stock than what it's actually worth. So all the regular people, college students, and everybody have been using these Robinhood apps and been buying up all these struggling companies' stock and driving the price up. They don't have a new product. They don't have new leadership.
They're closing. They're
yeah. I made $20 on it on AMC yesterday because of this.
See, and literally regular Wall Street, if they were to do this, the SEC would come down on them and lock people up, because what you're doing is artificially driving up the price of the stock so that people who own it can sell it at a high price now. Because now I think it's like $400 a share. So
Well,
who do you?
The other piece to this too that that is interesting that most people won't understand is that rich people do. There's two sides of stocks. You invest in a stock because you think it's going to go up, but you can also invest in a stock and take a gamble that the business is going to fail. There's two sides now, and most poor people like us don't know that. So all these rich people have bet GameStop was gonna collapse, which it was collapsing, and now all these regular people have put artificial money in it, saved it, and now it's fucking all these rich people, and now all the rich people are pissed, which is hilarious. And like Chandra said, good morning, let's eat the rich.
Yeah, it's basically they borrowed money to buy the stock low. They're betting it would go lower, and then they buy it low, they sell it, and then they're betting it'll go lower so they can buy it at the lower price and keep the difference when they pay back the loan. But the short calls come on Friday, so everyone's hoping that they can keep this going until Friday when the short calls come, and it'll lose the two major hedge funds a lot of money because they'll have to be paying out a lot of money. And what's funny about it too is they've also inadvertently been raising the stock because they've had to buy more to help cover their losses on it for whenever the stock does fall. They've been artificially inflating it.
Hold on, because it's a failed business model. It's going to fall at some point, but everyone is just going crazy. I don't totally understand it, but I thought it was interesting because it's been all over my Facebook feed the last.
What this literally does is it rewards the first people in and the first people out. Because at the end, the bottom has to fall out of this.
Right.
And who gets left holding the bag? Then a bunch of poor people who thought they were getting in on a good deal. Because I'm going to tell you, rich people are selling their stock right now. They're selling it at $400 a share. They thought it was worthless. So now if they find people who are willing to snap up all that shit just so they can get out of GameStop, they're cool.
Yeah. Gina, go ahead.
So it's funny to me because this is something that's done by the rich all the time. They do buybacks. Right. They do they artificially inflate their stock, especially after hours. You'll see that this is something that happens a lot as far as corporations and stuff like that goes. And it ends up
artificially inflating your stock is illegal. You cannot. This Wall Street is heavily regulated.
They do it.
No, they don't.
Okay.
All right, let's get.
It's legal.
Martha Stewart went to prison, so they don't do it anymore.
Buybacks are legal, and they do it in other ways, and there are always ways around. And I promise that they do it. So, companies do this a lot, and it's something that's done fairly often, and common. So it's not. This is nothing new. This is poor people doing what rich people do and making some money off of it. It's just.
All right. Yeah. Tiefel, real quick. Yeah, we're running way late. Go ahead. You got a good one for us?
All right. Well, I'll do the one for sugar tomorrow. Okay. We'll skip right over to the Malawi man who died from what the coroner has determined was an extreme orgasm.
Oh, wow.
He apparently got so excited and had such a great orgasm, it caused blood vessels in his brain to rupture.
Well, and now that woman is okay with his death because now she's got 1 million of them lined up.
The woman, they announced that the woman will face no charges in his death.
Oh yeah, but her vagina is under indictment.
It was
They say you can indict anything, even a ham sandwich.
Ham sandwich, yep. How about something that looks like a ham sandwich?
And what's great about the situation for this woman is she is a sex worker, so she might be able to raise her prices after being able to go literally cause orgasm death on her advertisements.
You thought GameStop stock was rising.
Yeah, no, but at least this is a product.
Right. Yeah, her stock is rising way faster than GameStop.
Well, it sounds like his stock was rising.
It rose too much. It blew out the top.
All right. Thank you, Chris Tiefel.
I just love the idea that is on somebody's death certificate.
I know.
Extreme orgasm.
I don't think they would say that.
Ebenezer Bushrod with the news. Thank you so much, WTF News. Ooh, what a show today. Jesus. We gave you extra show since we're not having one tomorrow. We'll see you on Monday for Demetrius Nicodemus and Eastside Southside Gina, Chris Tiefel, Donnie P, Ashley P. I'm Andrew Z. Have a great week. We'll see you Monday. Bye, everybody.
Bye.